Cobra Kai was probably what we were going to talk about, was it?
Maybe that was it. So, because I think did that just I think I binge watched it like almost everybody else.
Yeah, the last episode we did on New Year's Day, and you were already watching it, and I, as informed as I am, didn't even know it was streaming. And I'm a big fan too. I just didn't like hear that news, so I was like, oh, so I ran that night. I fired it up, and I think I finished the whole thing by the next day. But
They're
it was
easy.
good.
They're easy to get through, and I think I might have texted you during episode 9. I think I texted you and said, "I am beaming through this entire episode."
Oh yeah, it was just episode 9, right?
Yeah,
It had all the feels to it.
can't go
Elizabeth
wrong.
Shue hasn't aged, by the way.
No, and I was always, you know, you see these people, yeah, particularly people like her, and she maybe looks, 8 years older than she did in the Karate Kid. I could be, but, but
Yeah,
not certainly. Was it 1984 to 2019 when they shot it? 25 years. Is that would have been crazy?
it's crazy. Yeah, she looks great. Allie. I did like the scene a lot when they I won't try to give any spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, we're going to talk about some stuff real quick before we get into the stand. I did like the scene where they're at the dinner at like the country club or the part not the country club but like that the party.
It's supposed to be Encino Hills Country Club, even
It
though
was
it is.
the country club.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
they Johnny comes in and he's like, "Hey, I'm wearing white," because it's the same thing that happened with Ralph Macchio. And Johnny, the character of Johnny Williams Zabka, is wearing a white sports jacket and a black shirt, and it's so 80s. And Ralph Macchio is like, "Okay, hey Scarface," and it was perfect. I was like, "Yes," because that's what I was thinking. I was like, "You look like Tony Montana."
you know, I think what I like about Cobra Kai is they've had a couple teases along the way like that. Like, they show the spaghetti, and you were like, I'm like, oh, and Karate Kid fans were like, well, we know where this is going.
Yeah,
And he's wearing the jacket. Or, early on they said, the doctor from out of town is coming, and we're like, oh, we knew that Allie, that's what her job is. That's how she's going to get. So I like how they're kind of having fun with the audience or the diehard fans to kind of tease that they think this might be the way it's happening, but it is not.
yeah, I agree. I think it's great how they give you all those little nuggets and those gems from the '80s series that are so good. And
They showed an exterior of Allie's house, which is not too far from you, if I remember correctly.
yes, yeah, it's on Alonzo Avenue in I actually know a guy that lives on that street. It's a longer street. It's a few houses up,
Yeah.
but it's like one of those old Encino neighborhoods that's unchanged. It looks the way it did in the 60s or the 70s or whenever the houses were built. And they still use that exterior. And I think it's cool when they got her back because uh, they teased it in season 2. So you're like, she's at least going to do an appearance in 3. And then when they met up, all these like scenarios were happening in my mind. Like, well, this could happen. This could happen. I was certain that when they were at dinner or lunch, Johnny and Allie, for
Yeah.
the first time, that like the girl he was seeing, Miguel's dad or Miguel's mom, would show up, and be like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was
Yeah.
like, and I'm glad they didn't. That they just kept it like them.
No, like, and that's where it should be. That I like when they do things like that. So where you think the typical thing that they would do would be that, and they kind of skirt around that and almost do it or kind of tease, and they
Yeah.
they went in kind of a not completely different direction, but it keeps you on your toes, and you're not like, yeah, yeah, I know they're gonna do that.
Right. Yeah. They teased it, and I don't know. I thought the whole thing really worked. When Ralph Macchio, when Danny is with went to Okinawa, and I like that it's like all developed now, which is so typical of like anything in the world.
When he
You
opens up
know?
that cab door and it's
Yeah, Tomy Village has like Starbucks and Jamba Juices. And he's like, Tomy Village? And he meets uh what's his girlfriend's name in 2?
yeah, I can't remember. I was not a big fan of two.
I wasn't a big fan either, but he meets his girlfriend from 2. I think her name begins with an M, I forget her name, and the guy, like the villain.
And
And
the little girl, which I assume is the same
yeah,
person. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, you're not a big fan of 2. I never liked that storyline either. I thought one worked where they're in the valley and they're fighting, and it's like
Yeah.
this kid coming of age, and all of a sudden they're in Japan.
Well, I watched the what do they call it? The reunion shows. I can't remember, and they had like all the different Karate Kid sequels, and the writer more or less said that he reason he wrote that whole thing is like he wanted to go to Okinawa and visit his old karate master, and so that's why Ralph and Dr. Mr. Miyagi that's why it went to all the way over there because he wanted a vacation, not a vacation, but
Needed a vacation. Yeah, I like when they do that. Like, yeah, let's just shoot there. It's like James Cameron. Let's make Titanic. Why? Because I want to explore the Titanic.
Adam Sandler's the king of that. Movies in Hawaii or taking cruises. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We know what's going on.
Adam Sandler is filming 6 weeks in Italy, in the south of France. Good, great. It's going to be another stinker, but hey, he's getting paid for a nice vacation. The Karate Kid, the crease thing. How do you feel about? So a little tiny spoiler alert. Towards the end of the third season, there's like 3 cells that break off. There's Cobra Kai, there's Miyagi-Do, and then there's the Fanged Eagle. Fanged Eagle?
I think it's the Fanged. Oh, it's Fanged something Eagles.
Again, Eagles don't have fangs. And they kind of split off, and they're partnering up to go against Cobra Kai. How do you feel about that whole like story arch?
It's kind of like obviously these are things where the show is accused of kind of getting into Cornyville in a little bit, and then, but I also kind of at a certain point you kind of embrace it, and we're like, yeah, I'll give them credit. I want to see where this goes, and I think there's a lot of rumors on who that call is made to, which I'm pretty sure I know who it is. At the very end of the episode, that Kreese calls that's going to be in the next season of Karate Kid.
It's his Vietnam buddy.
Which I assume is it Terry from
Terry Silver?
Yeah. Which he was on that reunion show as
watched it
as Robin Lively and Sean, of course. So the way things are going, as we kind of progress, we kind of get different pieces of the sequel that it just feels like a natural. And I hope Robin is still making macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, that's all I want her to do. And I think she should start a mac and cheese store.
That could be her thing. She's make mac and cheese in pots, and that's what she's. Her been on here on Etsy, and that's what her.
It would be like a food truck or something. LA that they're like, yeah, she's running like the mac and cheese and ramen store or something like that.
So many things.
I wasn't a big fan of Fanged Eagle branching off. I feel like Cobra Kai, it's the centric part of the show, and it's always been like Cobra Kai versus Mr. Miyagi and Daniel. Yeah. And the fact that he split, but then he's joining, I think it would be cooler if he just kind of like teamed up with Daniel, which he's kind of doing, but like his students came and it was Miyagi versus that. That whole Fanged Eagle thing, I felt like it was unnecessary.
It'll all come full circle. And Fanged Eagle is probably like the what is it called in the new Star Wars, the New Order, or
the New Republic,
or what's the new Empire called?
The Governor Ricketts Club, the Empire of Evil.
Our governor still won't. I won't talk about that. Anyway,
he's gonna start Cobra Kai.
Yeah, he might. That's what it is. Cobra Kai is just like a microcosm of everything else going on.
It is. I do like that when they were doing the they kind of alluded to like what a lot of people have criticized about the show, or even fans of the show have always thought, when they were doing the hearings to determine if the All Valley tournament could go on. You remember like the council meeting or whatever? And the lady that's the moderator is like, I still don't understand the Valley's fascination with karate, and it's kind of like, it's true in 2020, even in the 80s, like LA, karate was never a popular thing, mainstream. It's always been niche. People that take karate, their parents or their friends, but nobody's going to like Valley tournaments to watch karate, and they did it, and I was like, that's good, that's a nice touch.
That is like, I wonder if non-LA people are like, that whole city is just into karate like nothing.
Yeah, I remember I asked my wife about that because she's a native of the Valley, and I was like, was that like big? I asked my brother-in-law and if that was like a big, and they're like, no, the movies are awesome, but karate was never a big thing here, and I was like, it'd be kind of nice if it were. If you open up closets and then there were like, black belts hanging up there and gis and stuff like that.
Like, we were all into karate. The whole Valley.
The whole Valley. I enjoyed the Cobra Kai series. I hope it's not as long as a wait for the next one, but with COVID and everything, who knows?
Yeah, it'll be hopefully a bit of. I think it'll be worth the wait, and I kind of I trust these writers and what they're doing. I think Ralph Macchio said they have like a 6 season mapped out. So
Yeah, yeah, I read that. I think that's wonderful, and that's a good time to end it. I would guess. I mean, 6 seasons. They get a little older. Crease Martin Cove. I hope he lives forever, but he can only do so many more seasons. You know what I mean?
well,
As
no,
that character, I'm saying.
yeah, and I'm at the age now. I'm like, well, I can't do that. And obviously they switched to some body doubles here and there, but
Yeah,
I
I
would be
can't.
down for the count for one of those hits.
They do. The last thing I'll say about Cobra Kai is they do. I do applaud them for taking kind of unsafe cues in today's culture and using them. I'll give you an example. They're fighting. The kids are fighting. They're like breaking down houses and punching, and throwing through the glass. But there's like guys walking up and kicking girls in the faces, which is I don't think that's a good thing, but they're not playing it safe where like they're not doing that. They're kind of showing like a true these kids, these Cobra Kai kids are psychotic and they just want to hurt everybody and they're just like coming after girls and punching them and everybody's fighting karate. And I don't know if that's because karate doesn't see gender or something, but they're not playing it's safe where a lot of shows like wouldn't even
Yeah.
probably do that
Well,
today.
Robin Lively got kicked in the stomach. She about threw up
Poor
her
Robin
macaroni and
Lively.
cheese. Yeah.
She looked good in the reunion
She
call.
did. A lot of these people don't age. Kind of uh, they must take care of themselves pretty well.
We gotta have Sean Kanan on sometime soon. We gotta grill him about Cobra Kai because he wasn't in this season, but he's a big fan, obviously, and I want to hear what his take is on it as well.
And I do like that they're taking their time. They could have thrown everything into season one
Yeah.
and
Yes.
kind of overdone it. Um,
Yes.
but I've kind of liked that they kind of spaced it out. And it was great to see Elizabeth Shue. Does she need
Yeah.
to come back full time? No. Would be
No.
nice to see her here and there, kind of popping back in town. Oh yeah. But yeah, I just and yeah. So I just kind of like how they're kind of dropping these in along the way, and we'll see if they go to Hilary Swank will show up or the
Jaden.
next Karate Kid.
Jaden Smith. Was it
Yeah,
Jaden Smith?
I think it's Jaden. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree with you. The Elizabeth Shue served her purpose, and it was very well done. You don't need to keep having her come back.
she just needs to show up in at least one new TV series every year.
Yeah, yeah, she's great. But yeah, check out Cobra Kai. I thought it was a really good series, and I'm excited to. Well, there's no more episodes, so I'm
Yeah,
excited for nothing. But
I'm excited to see what's going to happen next in a year or so.
yeah, should be pretty good.